free college education while working. Union Pacific Railroad connects hundreds of communities, hauling goods Americans rely on every day. Get your career on the right track with Union Pacific and apply today at up.jobs/sports. That's up.jobs/sports.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. What, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's going to fit.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Welcome back. Stan McDonald from the Stanton Law Firm. I had lunch with Lewis just recently and with a client of ours, a mutual client, and great to hear all the good things going on at the Stanton Law Firm.
Thank you, Wes. The Stanton Law Firm, as you know, we've discussed before, we're dirt lawyers. We do a lot of real estate, litigation and closing. And, yes, my son Lewis McDonald enjoyed meeting you a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of your friends. He is, as you know, he's opened up a commercial closing division. So he's really helping a lot of people who are trying to close, buy, or sell on their commercial property. And you can't be in this community doing business without knowing West neighbors.
I don't know about that, but it sure was getting to meet another McDonald and talking a little bit about his grandfather, Coach Dye, and right, the different things. It was a lot of fun.
Well, your listeners are really going to enjoy meeting Lewis and you in this community. And like I said, at Jacob Title or the Stanton Law Firm, we close business. We close some good commercial closings, residential closings. We appreciate being part of your show.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you don't happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I own Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website and the only printing franchise that can use their logo as our partner on marketing materials. We can help from conception to design, print, and delivery to the post office. And with our easy, secure online payment option, you don't even need to leave your office. Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
Sox, Sunday at 7 Eastern on ESPN. Presented by Casamigos Tequila.
The WNBA is back. This season's about Super Team.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
And away we go here on a Tuesday, live here from the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. I always know the change of seasons. It's a touch humid outside, so pulled out the fan. But it is very nice out here on the patio. How are you, Wes?
Oh, I'm doing great. Good to be here back at the factory.
Yes, always fun to be here at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Coming up on today's program, we have yet to really dive into Peyton Thorne. He is the transfer quarterback from Michigan State heading to Auburn, and we'll dive into more of his story on exactly how he panned out last year and what Auburn fans can expect from their new quarterback on campus. It's assumed that he's going to be the starting quarterback. We'll find out from Hondo Carpenter, who covers Michigan State and has for quite some time. Hondo going to join us in about 25 minutes' time. But we have talked a little bit about the college football's new schedule that will start in 2024 with the first round of on-campus events, the quarterfinals being utilized by bowl games. But, and really, this is a good little trial period here for the college football playoffs, being at the final 2 years of this contract, to weed some things out, meaning Friday games or weekday games, Wes.
That they won't be playing weekday?
They will be playing during the weekday.
Well, they've been doing that, though, right?
Well, depending on when the dates fall with the New Year's Eve and that type of scenario. But we wanted to talk to Bill Hancock, from the executive director of the College Football Playoff, and he's kind enough to join us right here out of the gate on a Tuesday. How are you, Bill?
Well, I have a question for Wes. Wes, are you having trouble with Steve today?
Not any more than usual.
Hey, it's great to hear you guys. Hope you're doing well.
Yes, sir. Likewise. So I know this didn't happen overnight, so tell me a little bit about the process of finding these dates and coming out with this for the next 2 years. I realize it's not this football season, but beginning next season, Bill.
We have great dates. We're pleased that everything worked out. Obviously, the first round on the third weekend of December will be some of the biggest games ever on campus. Certainly those four schools are going to have just a phenomenal experience. And the 3 quarterfinal games on New Year's Day, that's going to be awesome. And, of course, the other one, New Year's Eve, I think that'll be a tremendous slot for us, too. Big change is the championship game 2 weeks later than normal, or not normal. This is going to be the new normal. But 2 weeks later than it has been, Martin Luther King Day. So, yeah, we feel good about our schedule.
Well, how long of a process did it take to weed out these dates, and was it important to steer clear of the NFL dates?
Yes, it was important to stay away from those Saturdays and Sundays. We've always done that, of course, that the NFL is playing. How long did it take? It took a while. We knew it would. We had to be deliberate about it, and we weren't thinking about it every day or anything like that. But we just wanted to make sure we got it right, and I really feel like we did. I think all of us feel like we would like to be able to play on the Saturdays in January, but my goodness, the NFL has those booked up with playoffs, and we get that. Saturday's our day. Saturday's college football day, as you all know. And my goodness, look at the numbers we had last year on Saturday on New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have our schedule works out really well for us.
So the other question, I've got multiple questions for you, Bill, is with the expansion of the playoffs, is there any thought to maybe bringing back some BCS elements so not everything is on the committee moving forward? Or is there talk of expanding the committee?
No expansion in the committee. The committee's processes and certainly the size of the committee will stay the same. The committee protocols work. We feel like we've gotten the best 4 teams every year. We know Team 5 is going to be disappointed, but we feel like the protocols work for the committee, so no need to fix it if it ain't broke.
I feel like you had a system that was also a solid system there with the BCS. I know we've talked about this in the past, Bill, but it does feel like this would offer up, at least for a 2-year window, to tinker a little bit with expand the playoffs and maybe bring the computer element back in.
Oh, Steve, I think just you have to remember where you were 10 years ago and others. Maybe not you quite as much as others, but people were tired of those computer formulas. They didn't know how they worked. And when we went to the humans with football judgment, I think people were very happy about it, and people are still happy about the committee. ESPN does a survey for us every year and about the committee. And this year it came back with the committee having an 80% positive approval rating. I don't know anything in America that has 80% positive approval rating except West.
Well, yeah, I don't think I'm close to 80, but that is a good approval rating. Yeah,
maybe 79%.
So now, you're the king of political correct answers. So I'm digging here.
Oh no!
So, is there part of this that you worry about, that the new, because it's a lot?
Don't worry at all about the selection process or the committee. Our plates right now are full with working on the operational parts, particularly for the first round.
That's a quick turnaround, isn't it?
Nobody's ever tried this before. Yes, quick turnaround. We're the first round will be 2 weeks after, 13 days after selection day. That's not bad. And then the quarterfinals will be another couple of weeks after that. Not bad. It'll be different for the bowl games, so we'll have a shorter turnaround between the first round games and the quarterfinals. And then the turnaround between the quarterfinals and the semifinals of 8 or 9 days. That's different, but we've had that before with semifinals to championship game. And so I'm not trying to give you the dreaded.
I would think the biggest thing to me would be booking a hotel for the team that in the first round. For those four teams, which I think it should be the second round also, but that should be home
on campus.
Yeah, on campus. But I get what they're doing. But you look at this, Bill, and you have 2 weeks from selection or 13 days for that game. There's not a lot of rooms in Auburn, Alabama, or Tuscaloosa, Alabama, for that matter.
We need to just move all the game to Huntsville.
Well, yeah, there's no question. I thought that was in the deal. No, but I mean, that has to be part of the discussion, though, right?
Yeah, let me give you the serious answer on that. And, man, I just love how much fun we get to have, and y'all are so nice to me. Anyway, we will have worked out the hotel room situation well before selection day. We'll have a plan that we'll have in place in, I don't know, July. And we will know, also think about this, by the 1st of November, we'll know pretty much I don't know how many, say 10, 12, 13 teams that are going to be in the hunt to be among those 4 teams ranked 5 through 8 that get the host. So it's not like we have to book rooms in all 130 FBS cities.
Well, I get that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that turnaround. I know a lot of the logistics are done years in advance on some of these things for these games, especially in the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, no doubt. We're going to learn as we go, but right now we feel very confident about the rooms part, tickets, game tickets. It will be such a huge game on campus, but we will set aside tickets for the visitors, and we'll make sure the moms and dads of those players get good tickets. That's important for us.
So no home venues for Texas, I'm guessing.
Well, the ticket managers will be able to build CFP into their season tickets. We don't know how the different schools are going to approach that. And some schools may have to, well, they all will have to set aside the visiting team allotment. And I think maybe some schools will have to move some folks just a little bit to accommodate the locations that we're going to have for the visiting team. But for the most part, operationally, it will be like a home game.
So who gets the revenue from the tickets?
CFP does, and then CFP distributes it among the conferences.
So,
final question.
Yeah, who absorbs the cost from having the home game then?
CFP does. We'll pay all the game expenses, and the schools will be able to keep their people that have suites will be able to keep their suites. If you have premium seat locations, you'll be able to keep that. This is going to be a really good thing, both in terms of business for the home school, but I think more so for the opportunity to have a game like this on campus.
He is Bill Hancock, and we always appreciate the time you give us, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bill.
So much fun, Steve. Take care, Wes. We'll see you at SEC Media Day.
Why, are you going to the spring meetings? Because we're heading down there ourselves.
I don't get to go. I've got a little procedure coming up, medical procedure, so I'm going to be on injured reserve for that.
Well, best of luck.
Yeah, get better, whatever it is.
And we hope to see you soon.
Okay, thanks, guys. See ya.
That is Bill Hancock, the executive director of the College Football Playoff. And again, this starts next season, 2024. The first round, the on-campus games will occur Friday, December the 20th. Then Saturday, December the 21st. The quarterfinals will be on New Year's Eve, December 31st, and then January 1st. The semifinals on January 9th and 10th. And a national championship game, as Bill mentioned, on Martin Luther King Day, Monday, January the 20th. So think about this. I mean, usually the second semester for all these schools start a week prior. So, I mean, we're talking about second semester football.
Yeah, no, it's too much. That's what I thought would happen. Yeah. It's just too much. I mean, you're talking about it's a lot.
Yes, it is. And there is no talk of expanding the scholarships.
I'm not worried about that as much because most players are going to play their legs broke.
That's true.
And as long as they can still perform in these games. But just the overall playing that many games and them all they talk about is let's shorten the games. And what they should say is
let's speed it up.
Let's shorten the games for TV so we can basically so they can put more on TV.
If you'd like to be a part of the program, you can certainly do so on the Neighbors Wealth Management hotline at 256-576 256-497-7, 256-576-4977. Mentioned a story yesterday with Urban Meyer, and I went back and I listened to the full podcast. Tim May does the podcast with Urban Meyer. Here was the quote that I mentioned. This podcast was released last Friday.
I remember people saying if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one. I don't agree with that at all. If you got two quarterbacks, you have two quarterbacks. And the Alabama scenario is, I haven't studied it that closely, but I've been reading about it, and that's a precarious situation there. You certainly can't get three ready to go. You're going to have to narrow it down, and especially if they're young players. The guy at Notre Dame's transfer is a very experienced guy, but I think Georgia and Ohio State are in very good positioning. I think Texas, you didn't mention them, but don't sleep on Texas this year. I was talking to Mark Pantoni, and I was talking to the recruiting director at Ohio State, and some other man-for-man roster against roster. It's hard to say Texas doesn't have the best roster in college football right now.
Yeah.
Now they got to play. It's been a while since Texas has been good or elite. But their quarterback, I watched him live against Alabama before he got hurt, and they could have won that game. And we all know Quinn Ewers from when he was at Ohio State. So I think Georgia, Ohio State, and Texas are in pretty good shot.
Wind chimes and all there from Urban Meyer.
That drive me crazy. Yeah. I was wondering what that noise was.
Yeah, those were wind chimes. Now, right after that answer, more was brought up about Alabama, and this answer from Urban Meyer made a lot of sense to me. Wes Neighbors, you tell me what you think when Urban breaks down Alabama.
Well, when the quarterback transferred from Notre Dame, I would love to be, with Tommy Rees being the offense coordinator there, you'd love to be a fly on the wall. It's actually what was said to him.
Yeah.
Why did he pick? There's two quarterbacks already there. Why did he go there? And the one thing about Alabama, when we all witnessed Ohio State or Alabama put it on Ohio State in the national championship game, you had first-round receivers all over that field. I didn't see that last year. Yeah. I kept hearing about the young talent. Of course, they got great talent. It's Alabama. But, Bryce Young's the number one pick in the NFL draft. You didn't feel that same vertical push. You didn't see Alabama, when they had those wideouts, they were unbeatable because you had a great run game. All you had to do was flip the bubble screens out there and get the ball in those guys' hands, and they were out. So I think Alabama, it's going to be really interesting to watch them in training camp. Not only the quarterback, but can they get anywhere close to the skill positions they had a couple years ago?
That's legit. I agree. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with him. Last year I had 17 busts in the receiver room. 17. How do you beat lucky? How do you not get beat by 3 touchdowns? I've seen them. I remember LSU playing Florida back when Connor played. And Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry were the receivers, and they busted the whole game. So that example is you can get better, right? They're
Correct.
Still playing.
Yes.
And the next year they just went off and then came out. But the year before they struggled with they had a different coordinator every year. That's not. Makes it harder, no question. You have a different coach and a different quarterback, and they teach it different. They were taught different, and they teach it different.
Last year's numbers for Peyton Thorne at Michigan State had a completion percentage of 62.5% for Sparty, threw for 2,679 yards, 19 touchdowns, 11 picks on the year for Michigan State. And now he is an Auburn Tiger.
I think that's a big get for Auburn. I don't know how he fits their system, basically. He was a pocket passer. But that they feel they got better. And now TJ has hopped in the portal, so he's gone. So it's kind of, it takes care of itself,
Yes. Hondo Carpenter going to join us coming up next as we're live here from the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Well, we'll talk a little Michigan State football. Of course, Mel Tucker still in charge up there at Michigan State. Let's go ahead and take our first time out. Hondo joins us next.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Rambo Marine in Hazel Green is your one-stop shop for all things boating. Whether you are ready to surf with the newest Malibu wake boat or cruise on a Cobalt or Barletta pontoon, we have a boat ready for you and your family. Rambo Marine provides exceptional service second to none, so that you are ready to hit the water in no time. Stop by Rambo Marine today. We know boats. At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment, because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that, chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, 2317 Memorial Parkway. Check out our menu and even order online at BadDaddy'sBurgerBar.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Our customers want best-in-class solutions. That's why we've recently added many new vendors like Zebra barcode printers. Our next level team has added premier automation solutions. We're not here to sell you just one product, and we love helping you find the right solution to your specific needs. That's what doing the right thing is all about, and that's why our customers have come back for over 50 years.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com. Make this the summer you finally get your own backyard pool from Superior Pool Construction. Family owned and operated, our team can have you swimming and splashing in no time. And now is the time to choose your custom fiberglass pool. Superior Pool Construction has a few spots still open for quick installation this summer. 80 different pools to choose from and 12 in beautiful Diamond Tech colors. All come with a 50-year manufacturer's structural warranty. Call Superior Pool Construction now, 256-284-5953, 284-5953. Guys, music can inspire us. Let the concert quality sound system at Zoom Indoor Cycling help push you harder than you ever thought possible. No matter if you're a beginner or an experienced rider, you'll ride top-of-the-line Stages SC3 bikes as the most talented instructors in North Alabama motivate you to reach your goals.
You can do it!
Guys, time to find out what you're made of. Challenge your friends or just challenge yourself and get in shape at Zoom Indoor Cycling. Visit ZoomHSV.com to find out more. $2 specialty shoe rental per ride for new riders.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at WoodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Back here at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill, we've already heard from Bill Hancock, the executive director of the College Football Playoff. let's dive in a little deeper now that Auburn's got themselves a brand new quarterback via a graduate transfer from Michigan State, and Hondo Carpenter. You can follow Hondo on Twitter at Hondo Carpenter is kind enough to join us. How are you, Hondo?
I'm doing great, brother. Good to talk to you again.
Absolutely. It's good to catch up. And so what do you make out of Auburn's new quarterback, sir?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I think he's a very good quarterback. I think that they're going to like him. I don't know the Auburn roster that well. I think he's a very good quarterback, a very solid quarterback, but knowing Hugh Freeze the way I do, I just have a sneaking suspicion Peyton may not be your starter when the season comes. I just think that there's going to be a great competition. Now, listen, Peyton's a good one. That's not a slam. But you know one thing about Hugh Freeze, that gentleman knows how to go get elite quarterbacks, and I think that he won't be done. They're going to create a competition there.
So from the season last year for Peyton Thorne, I see at least numbers tell me one thing, be it a completion percentage of almost 63%, 19 touchdown passes, 11 picks, but was he more consistent at the front end, the back end? Was there growth that you saw out of Peyton last year?
Yeah, the problem with Peyton was not Peyton, it was the people around him. And there wasn't, the line was not good. The line had a bunch of issues. I mean, you put him in a team with some, there were some playmakers around him, but you put him around with some linemen, and, you saw again what he was the year before with Kenneth Walker. And that's one good thing about what's coming to the Plains is the way that Hugh runs his system. I think it's going to be perfect for Peyton. I think it's going to be great. When I say I wouldn't pencil him in, it's just because I know that Hugh wants constant competition everywhere. And I think that's what they're going to get. But I think he'll absolutely come in and compete. I think you guys have a significantly better offensive line. And I think you're going to see Peyton, have his very best season of his campaign. He's a thorough quarterback. He's very smart. He thrives in a high intensity system where it's going to be demanded of everybody. I think this is a significant loss for Michigan State and a great gain for Auburn. And again, I think you're going to have a guy that's going to come in and play really smart. One of the things that I think in my lifetime, and I'm an old man now, but when Auburn has been good, the guys at the top, the leaders on that team are smart. And I think that was one thing Cam Newton was highly underrated for, was his football IQ. And you can go back and find others. He certainly isn't the only one. And you're going to get a guy whose dad's a coach. He's got an incredibly high football IQ. He's a guy that's not, there's going to be, when a guy runs a wrong route and your job's to put a ball in a spot, that's not on Peyton Thorne if that guy's not in that spot. And I think that you're going to see, I think the offense that Hugh runs is significantly better. I think you're going to see him be better, and he's going to be able to use that football IQ, and I think he's going to be a real blessing for you all.
Talking to Hondo Carpenter right now in the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. How about from a mobility standpoint? Is he apt at scrambling at the right time, I guess is where I'm heading, Hondo?
Well, when you played behind the Michigan State offensive line, that's kind of an unfair question because you have to scramble all the time. And he hasn't had, he's not been able to play behind a line like I think he's going to have this year. And so it's really the jury's out. He showed a lot of mobility at times. And but I think there were times that he maybe had to be a little bit mobile just because of the inefficiency of the offensive line before he wanted to be. I think he has a unique mix of the ability to be mobile, but he likes to stand in that pocket when it's a passing play until the very last second. He knows when to take off. The problem is at Michigan State, he had to take off a lot of times before some things got to develop. Michigan State had some really good wide receivers, but the problem was it was hard to get time for them to get open, and he would have to do some things to maneuver. And again, that's why I think I've been listening to some Auburn fans and had a lot of people contact me. Some of them were a little disappointed, and I said, well, go back and watch the film. Go back and watch how much time he had before he had to move. Watch how many times he got moved out of the pocket. Then watch times he had to take off for his life. And I had several of them get back to me and say, wow, didn't notice that part. And it's just, that's why I love coming on your station, because you guys are not just about stats. You're actually football people. You watch the film, you talk with your listeners, they expect that. That's why Alabama is one of the best football states in America, because those people know football. And your people can go put in the highlights and see exactly what I'm talking about, and I think it's an exciting day on the Plains.
So when you look at the Michigan State as a whole, and you said this is a huge loss for them, is the magic of year one? It seems like it was 10 years ago. What's going on at Michigan State?
Well, I don't know what magic you're referring to, but I can tell you I think that Michigan State, I think Mel Tucker came in, and there was, the first year was bad. The second year with Kenneth Walker was good. He parlayed that into a huge contract that I said at the time was a dumb contract. Not because I don't think Mel's a good coach, but there wasn't enough proof of work to warrant what he got. It made no sense. It was ignorant. And they went out and overpaid for a guy, and LSU was interested and others were interested, and so Michigan State had a big donor who now owns the Phoenix Suns step up and help. But again, I said at the time he had not earned the deal, was not against him, didn't think he was should be fired, but he hadn't earned that deal. And quite frankly, since he's got it, he hasn't earned the deal. So I think Michigan State is married to somebody that has yet to earn his contract, and but he certainly enjoys it. And I'm a free market capitalist, so I say God bless him. I'm glad he got it. But man, I would like to be able to have his results and make his money.
So you telling me we can expect maybe the owner of the Suns to be on the sidelines grabbing footballs during Michigan State games? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, not at all. But that's not the way Matt is. And, he's not a guy that's going to sit there and demand things. Matt's one of the finest men you'll ever meet, played basketball for Izzo. But,
that's right.
No, that's not what you're going to see. But, there is a lot of consternation in Spartan Nation, and people are frustrated. And I don't think Mel's in any danger of his job, because his contract certainly means he's not. But he certainly is in danger of losing his fan base. They are very disgruntled right now.
A lot has changed in this game that we follow oh so closely, and we are so microscopic, just focused on the SEC. But how has NIL been dealt with at Michigan State, Hondo?
Well, it's been tremendous, and I'm a fan of NIL. I think it's the best thing, and it allows people to just step up. It eliminates the cheaters, because now everybody can pay if they want to. And whether you're at Jackson State, where people took shots at Dion, or you're a small school like UAB, University of Alabama Birmingham, or you're in Alabama or in Auburn, it lets you to be able to go pave the way. And it's been great. Michigan State's been at the forefront of it. They've led the way in the Big Ten, but there's other schools doing it as well. Ohio State is. Michigan, as usual, they're still resting on their laurels of what they did 100 years ago. But when you look at what Michigan State's done, what an Ohio State done, and other schools have done in the Big Ten, they're not losing anybody to the SEC because of NIL money. Now, you and I both know, if you're a 5-star genuine recruit and you've got 6 SEC schools going after you and 2 or 3 Big Ten schools, the chances are you're going to the SEC. That's just the fact. It's a reality. Anybody who doesn't like it can pound sand, because it's the truth. But at the same time, they're not going to be losing people because of NIL. Now, there'll be occasionally, a quarterback or whomever is going to go somewhere and get $1 million a year or whatever. I don't know that there's a Big Ten school that would give $1 million a year to an unproven quarterback other than Ohio State. But I think there's several that would pay high in the 6 digits. So, you may lose maybe 5 to 10% of the crop, but they're going to be in the other 90, which is significant for them. And I think you see what the Big Ten can do when they're out there. And what I love about the NIL is it literally says to everybody, all right, The playing field's even now. Now you got to go win the players, then you got to go win the championships. And at the end of the day, I think NIL's been great for college sports. I think it needs to get bigger and better. I do think we need to end the fallacy that, everybody needs to get the same amount. That's not true. It's not the American way. If you're telling me a walk-on soccer player deserves the same as a starting quarterback at Auburn, you're insane. That's just stupidity. But I think you absolutely, these guys that have earned it, they should get paid. I'll tell you, do we have 30 seconds for a quick story?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example of this. Years ago when Michigan State was in the playoff and Michigan State was at the top of their game with Mark D'Antonio, they had an All-American player who literally tens of thousands of his jerseys had sold out. You couldn't buy one in the state of Michigan, and they were $159. And one Thanksgiving, I was cutting through campus with my family on my way to my mother's house for Thanksgiving, and here's the star player, a star player that I had bought 4 jerseys of, by the way, for my family. And he was sitting on a park bench, and I stopped and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he said, nothing. I said, "Well, how come you didn't go home?" And he goes, "Well, I didn't have the money." And his parents were poor people, but, man, they worked hard, salt of the earth, just good, hard-working Americans. And I just thought, this is a travesty. Everybody's making millions and millions of dollars on this kid's jersey, and he doesn't have the money to go home to get a bus ticket. That's ridiculous. It's shameful. And for anybody out there bitching and moaning and complaining like a bunch of schoolgirls because you didn't get enough likes on your Instagram, let me just tell you, the universities have made tens of millions, the coaches have made millions, and the conferences have made hundreds of millions, and the NCAA's made billions. If you don't like it, I don't blame you. But the problem is everyone else got rich except the players. And because of the people's greed and not expanding it. I mean, remember this, when they couldn't give a player cream cheese for a bagel. But yet the NCAA, in their uttermost ignorance, and the day is coming when the Power 5 schools just mooned the NCAA and said, "We're out. We're tired of the smaller schools and you guys. We're done." And the Power 5 all leave and go form their own entity away from the NCAA. That's going to be a day when true freedom comes to college sports. I think that's one thing that you can find people all over the country, regardless of your conference, agreeing on. At some point, let's get rid of the absolutely disingenuous, terrible NCAA.
So, what's your feeling on the transfer portal?
Love it. Now, let me tell you why I love it. And you know what? I really appreciate Hugh, and I know Nick. I know them both. And obviously Nick when he was at Michigan State. But I'm going to tell you why I love the transfer portal. Because as a purist, I understand everybody hating it. But here's why I love the portal. So a coach can leave and go anywhere he wants for more money. But those players are stuck there. Now, we all know what they used to say. Well, you pick Auburn, or you pick Alabama, or you pick Michigan State because of the school. And we all know that's a lie. Because when Nick Saban wasn't in Alabama, they weren't getting as many of those high-profile kids to commit. And I can guarantee you the reason the last guy got fired in Auburn is because he wasn't getting enough of those guys to come there. I think they're going to come from Hugh. I don't know why anyone would want to play for Hugh Freeze. But I think when those guys can leave, promises can be made to kids. Let me give you a great example. Years ago, there was a kid, a high-profile recruit that was recruited to a college, and I'm gonna make up a different position because I'm not going to call anyone out on the radio. But let's say that the kid was a tight end, and he was being recruited by everybody, Nick, everybody as an offensive tackle, But the coach told him, "Oh, no, you want to play tight end, you're a tight end here." So the kid commits and goes to the school. At one point, I remember saying to the coach, "Wow, you really think he's going to stick at tight end?" He goes, "Well, he is till the first week's over." I mean, that's the kind of crap that pushed kids into a portal. And then you saw people who said, "Okay, we're going to let you transfer, but you can't go here, here, and here." Give me a break. They're not cattle. If coaches can leave, if athletic directors can leave, if promises can be made and not kept, I'm sorry, I have no issue with it. Kid wants to go, sayonara. And if you're a program, and look, I mean, let's look at Alabama and Auburn. I mean, this is the gold standard of football programs in college football. Both of them are. And you got a kid that doesn't want to be there. Well, then why do you want him? Let him go.
Well,
the answer should be next.
Yeah. So here's where, in a perfect world, that's working. When the parents want you to leave because they think they can get a better deal, they end up taking the money and then not paying the taxes, and you owe the taxes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff bad's about to happen with this thing, and to me, if you commit to a school, you ought to give it at least 2 years. I mean that's because especially if they're paying you.
I want you to hear this though. I agree with everything you just said. I agree with everything that you just said. I think there is the law of unintended consequences that's going to come back and cause a furor. But here's the whole point. Because for years it was so abused by those in leadership. You know, I'll give you another one. I'm a free market capitalist. I believe in free speech. And so that means when I don't need to hush everybody or silent free speech if I disagree with it because I support free speech. There are people that are going to do it wrongly, but I'm not willing to give up my free speech to stop the person I disagree with. And what I would say to you is you are 100% correct. The law of unintended consequences is coming. There's going to be kids that exactly what you just said, and it is coming. But just because there are the horror stories doesn't mean we get rid of it, because I can give you hundreds over my years of players that weren't allowed to leave, players that were made promises that were never met. And so I understand, and brother, I'm in agreement. I know some kids right now that haven't even thought about the taxes, and I asked them, and they said, what are you talking about? So I agree with you, and I see it, my friend. But I also think, based on what the old system, it's better than what they had.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that it needs to be, if they're going to get paid, they ought to, for the kids' sake, I think you ought to be able to transfer twice. Once after your second year and when you graduate, no matter when that is.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting proposal. But again, I've seen so many kids that were lied to, and there was no way to stop it, that to me, until they can fix it. You know, maybe they have to have coaches in schools put everything in writing. And then if it changes, then the player's allowed to go. I think it's certainly a conversation that needs to be had, but it's better than the system they had previously.
Well, there's no doubt they were being taken advantage of. And of course, this is after all my kids ran out of eligibility when they did it. So.
Hey, I'm 52 years old, and my wife and I have 7 kids. We just adopted our 8th. He's 9 months old, so I'm glad. I told all my other kids, I said, I'm glad he's going to have some NIL.
That's good.
Outstanding.
God has a very special place for you.
There is no doubt about that. So just to circle back with Peyton Thorne, just to clarify, because I'm getting some feedback from what you first said, Hondo, you don't think he's a day one starter but an eventual starter?
No. Here's what I mean by that. I've had several people say, does Hugh have his quarterback? And I've told everybody, anybody that knows Hugh's freeze, I don't think thinks that at all, because he hasn't, if this guy was coming into his year 2 as a starter, I think you could say that. But I think Auburn's going to keep hunting. I think that he wants as much competition at every position. I think he certainly can earn it day one. But I don't think you anoint anybody in a Hugh Freeze system. Hugh's going to make everybody compete for everything. And I think that's what's going to make Auburn better. I think, and I mean this with absolute respect, because I revere Auburn. I think when War Eagle's good, it makes college football better. I think it makes the state of Alabama better. I think it makes the Crimson Tide better. But I'm going to tell you this: I think Hugh Freeze, there's going to be no club War Eagle. It's going to be a battle. He wants a competition at every position, and I think you're going to absolutely see the cream rise to the top. I wouldn't be shocked if Peyton did, but I wouldn't anoint anybody at any position there on the Plains right now.
Well, since you went there earlier, I've got to ask, closing things out with you, Hondo, do you have a go-to Nick Saban story in his time up there in Sparty Land?
Well, yeah, because there's several, but it's one that may surprise you a little bit. Nick is obviously very famous for being detail-oriented, and one particular time, I remember this like it was yesterday, there were these group of kids, and I respect the way Nick, anybody can get frustrated with the adults that want autographs or the adults that act like they're 7. But watching these kids, and this kid comes up to him and says, "Coach, I'm having trouble throwing a football." And Nick stopped and looked at him, and the kid had a football in his hands. And I watched Nick spend 15 minutes teaching this kid how to hold a football. I think one of the things that's missed about Nick Saban, and I've known him a long time, is he is absolutely driven in football. But he is also a very compassionate person, and he doesn't like that out. It isn't something he does it for media coverage. I know this will shock a lot of people, and they'll probably call me a liar, but he's warm. And, I just have always appreciated that Nick doesn't have time for the idiocies of people, but, man, he's got time for kids, and people matter to Nick. And I'll tell you one other one. I can't even tell you how many of his former players, some of them guys who never saw the field, that pick up the phone and call Nick Saban, and he calls them back. You can say whatever you want about Nick Saban, but if you're just a fan and you don't know him, I do. Nick Saban loves his players, and if you give him everything you got, even if it's not good enough, he will always be there for you. He is compassionate. He cares about people, and I would let my son play for him or Hugh in a heartbeat. And Nick is, I tell everybody, Nick is the guy you want on your side. If you give him everything, he'll give you everything. And I think he is an absolutely tremendous human being. I love Nick.
Hondo, thank you so much for the time and the candor, and it was great insight. I know we'd love to have you back on anytime.
Anytime you want me, you got me. I love the fine folks of the state of Alabama. God bless you, my friend.
Thank you, Hondo. That is Hondo Carpenter, covers the Michigan State program. You can check him out on Twitter at Hondo Carpenter. Let's go ahead and take our final time out. We're live here at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill, walking you up to Braves baseball.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have the state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 80s. An isolated shower certainly can't be ruled out across the Tennessee Valley, but I'm fairly confident many of us are going to be dry. We drop into the lower 60s as we head into the overnight. It's going to be a rinse and repeat process as we head into your Wednesday. A partly to mostly cloudy sky. Temperatures climbing into the mid 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Time now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Back here at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill, along with Wes Neighbors, Steve Moulton back here with you. Don't forget, tomorrow afternoon, 3:50 is the scheduled pregame. All right, so I want Wes Neighbors to listen to me. I want Jackson Love to listen to me. The reason is the weather forecast in Fayetteville, Arkansas for tomorrow, 58% chance of rain. Raindrops and softball don't go well together. So it is scheduled for 3:50 tomorrow. Hang loose with me tomorrow. We could be on at 5 o'clock. There could be a softball game on at 5 o'clock. I don't know that because of the weather forecast. And yes, the softball tournament is in Fayetteville, Arkansas. It is not raining here at the Furniture Factory.
No, it's beautiful.
Jen is here.
And isn't a little rain? Don't you just kind of treat that like the Taylor Swift concert, where
were you there?
Know, what's a little bit of rain?
Were you Swifting?
Are you a Swiftie?
Are you a Swiftie?
You know, the show goes on. It doesn't matter if there's a little rain. Come on, you know.
So Prince did the Super Bowl in the rain. Was awesome.
I mean,
that was incredible.
Awesome. Yeah.
What's a little rain?
Yeah, purple rain, right?
Purple rain. Hey, we got that.
That's what
Did
made
you see
it.
we just advertised for that?
No, what? Is he coming?
Yes, he is. Our favorite concert of the year.
Nice.
I mean, what's a little rain, right?
What's the date on that?
August the 20-something.
Okay.
I'm still working on May.
Oh, I am too. Day
so what's
by
going
day.
on in May here?
Hey, this weekend is super fun, right? We have Groove. Doesn't everybody like Groove? You know, we have our Groovies. Did you know that? We have like people that follow Groove, and it is so precious. There are people that just love them so much that they just go from show to show to show.
Oh wow!
Isn't that cool? Well, they're a good band.
Obviously.
80s. Everybody likes to dance.
Yeah.
Right? They're local. We like to support local.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's on Friday night. Now Saturday's super fun for those that like Dolly Parton. Everybody likes Dolly.
Dolly Parton,
Yeah, so you know we got Hannah, the Hannah show, Hannah Dasher. So she's like the new Dolly Parton that was back then, but is now. She's real cute. She's young, and she sings like Dolly. Wouldn't you want to go hear Dolly? Might as well just come on and sign up for Dolly. No, really, I've been told she's like the real deal. She's not one of these corny shows that you see at Dollywood. She's like the real deal.
So
no, I didn't mean that. That didn't sound right, did it? Oh, goodness.
Who needs Dollywood?
Didn't you go to Dollywood not long ago?
I love Dollywood. I'm just saying
It's
it's
a
not like
corny shows.
Dollywood's probably a good 4-hour ride from here, so rather than go up there for 4 hours,
you could come here.
You can come right
I did
here.
Not say that.
Does this Dolly have back problems?
Oh, me. I'm shooting myself in the foot. Having said that, this is a really good show. Seriously. She's Hannah Dasher. No?
That is Saturday.
Oh, y'all
I've heard
don't
of
have
Dolly.
Yeah, well.
So, according to the rundown I have, there is a cornhole tournament tonight.
Yes!
Tonight.
No, it's
not
not.
tomorrow
It's
night.
Wednesday
Tomorrow
night.
night. Tomorrow night.
We're doing that on Wednesdays. Isn't
And
that fun?
Trick Zipper as well.
Yes. So we're going to have a live band Wednesday night. Thursday night's our bike night. Everybody loves bike night. We do fusion barbecue, so we've got a great spread on Thursday night. Friday night's Groove. Saturday's Hannah Dasher. It's going to be really fun.
Great week at the factory.
Always.
And then Mondays, some places are closed Mondays. It's not the case here.
No, they got steak night here.
Steak night. Steak
Is there a
night.
holiday I don't know about?
Steak night.
Yeah, it's called Monday.
Yeah.
Monday?
You got a case of the Mondays.
Yeah, some people close.
Yeah.
On Mondays?
Yes, this is like Waffle House.
Yeah,
you don't
but
need a key.
this place, I'm telling you.
Is it a federal holiday?
No.
No?
No.
We know all federal holidays are Mondays. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
Some people have a case of the Mondays.
Yeah, well, it's steak night on Mondays.
Yes.
Don't you love our steak nights?
Yes.
Hey, do you know
I was here last week for steak night.
Were you really?
Yes.
So at Furniture Factory at Providence, we sold 41 of those delicious steaks.
Wow.
That's how much people love them. Yeah?
You can't beat it. It's the best deal down.
It
What is
is.
it? 10 what now?
Something around
10
there.
like 79 or
you
something
know,
like that,
something
yeah.
like that, and you get a really good heaping pile of
And
mashed potatoes, a beautiful salad.
The salad
that sounds good.
is the best in Huntsville.
Ranch. I
It
think
is.
it's the lime juice, like the fresh lime.
So I went to go visit my mom, and she's down in Homewood. And it happened again. She wanted some fast food.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I look at the bill, and I'm like, I could get how many steaks?
For the price of a fast food meal.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, if I'd had a little, warmer lunchbox, I'd have sent her one with you. You just bring it to go.
I appreciate that.
Oh, it's
I
a great
appreciate
night here at the factory. Beautiful night for those that don't want to get stuck in traffic. They need to come over and get some tequila.
Indeed.
You know,
Actually,
Tuesday.
Neil came and joined me. I hadn't seen him in a while last week, and enjoyed seeing him, one of our listeners, he came because
It's
he
just
comes
a great place. It's Cheers. Everybody loves the Cheers bar, right?
There's no question.
Everybody loves Cheers. We know each other. Everybody just comes to hang out.
This summer, still a lot of events going on.
Yes.
How do they get in touch with you if you want to have an
they
event
can call
here?
my cell, 256-426-1989. If you look at our webpage, it's FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com, then it'll shoot you right to me. Reunions, we're the place to be. Parties, you're the place to be. You know, we got all that stuff going on. I can get you a villa,
Just
a
if-
table,
yeah,
a reservation,
if
you
you
name
have
it, I got you.
The private room in here,
Mm-hmm.
the
Dining
smoke,
room. Don't you love that?
Oh yeah.
Graduation parties, yes, we are the place to be.
Thank you, Jen.
See ya.
That'll do it for hour number one. Jim Harbaugh gave a speech to a group of young football players. How did he fall in love with the game of football? He explains that on the other side. We'll be right back.
Since 1998, Scooter's Coffee has delivered high-quality drinks with quick service and a big smile. And the folks at Scooter's Coffee know a great cup of coffee or other drink can bring a smile to just about anyone. Yes, we specialize in great coffee, but Scooters also has smoothies, teas, and delicious food items too. And this week, Scooters is our zone deal. Right now, get $50 worth of Scooters in Huntsville for just $25 online at 977ESPN.com.
Southern Fidelity Mortgage. Think of them as a loan for everyone, offering more products than anyone else and the guaranteed lowest rates and costs in town. Of the 2,000 loans that Southern Fidelity Mortgage has pre-approved over the last 10 years, all but one have closed. That's unprecedented in the banking business. For FHA, VA, rural development, and conventional mortgages, for the best mortgage experience in town, it's Southern Fidelity Mortgage.
Call Southern Fidelity Mortgage Company at 256-656-5936.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
Steve Lennox, 2 Game 5s on the NBA playoff schedule on this Tuesday night. Up first, Sixers and Celtics in Boston. Sixers able to even up the series with an overtime victory at home in Game 4 on Sunday. Stephen A. Smith still believes Celtics are the favorites to win the East.
For me, when I look at particularly Boston, with Tatum, with Brown, with Smart, with White, with Brogdon and others, even Horford to some degree, you can't leave him open on the perimeter to shoot shots. He can hit those shots. I'm of the mindset that Boston should still be the favorites coming out of the East. I still have them winning this series against the Philadelphia 76ers, and I'd have them meeting Miami, assuming they met Miami in the conference finals.
Stephen A. Smith today on First Take. NBA postseason history. Winner of Game 5 of a best-of-7 series that is even at 2-2 has gone on to win the series 82% of the time. Later tonight, Suns and Nuggets back in Denver for Game 5. Home team has won every game of the series so far. Chris Paul again out for a 3rd straight game with a groin injury. Knicks guard Emmanuel Quickley is doubtful for Game 5 Wednesday night in New York. Knicks right now trail the series against the Heat 3-1 after losing Game 4 in Miami Monday night. Quickly did miss Game 4 for the Knicks with a sprained left ankle. NBA All-Defensive First Team includes Defensive Player of the Year Jaren Jackson Jr. of the Grizzlies, as well as Bucks Brook Lopez, Cavaliers Evan Mobley, Bucks Drew Holiday, and Bulls guard Alex Caruso. Mets and Reds opening up a series in Cincinnati tonight. Right now in the second, Reds up 1-0. Mets starting pitcher Max Scherzer scratched from tonight's start earlier in the day due to neck spasms.
Coming up Wednesday is my Los Angeles Lakers look to close out the Golden State Warriors. I'll tell you what I need to see for them to end this series in 5. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
.97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Hour number 2 rolls along here at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Walking you up to Braves baseball on the mound today after an off day. Braves still at home taking on the Boston Red Sox. Boston is 21-15 and they're 8 games behind first place to the Tampa Bay Rays. Braves currently own a 7-game lead in the NL East in what is game number 36.
I mean, why are we talking about it? It isn't even halfway through.
Not even close. Well, from that subject to another, man, we just all adore listening to Jim Harbaugh, the man, the myth, the legend, Khaki Pants 101, is definitely turning around the program. We got to give him some credit up there in Michigan of getting things going in the right direction, including beating that team in Ohio. Well, he spoke to a group of youngsters, and this was a high school, middle school that he went to, and went into how he fell in love with the game of football. And here is the Michigan man himself. This happened over the weekend, but I caught this audio today.
When I was in Ann Arbor, Michigan, 9 years old, I was playing for the Ann Arbor Junior Packers. It's game 3. We give out the equipment and the uniforms, and they told us we were going to tackle. And I was put my uniform on. I'm feeling like a football player. Look in the mirror. Jim Harbaugh, football player. We go to practice, and they set up a tackling drill. They put two dummies 6 yards apart. One line was going to be the runner. The other line was going to be the tackler. And I found myself in the tackling line. And I was seventh in the tackling line. And I did what every person who's seventh in the tackling line does. You know what that is? Count to see who's number 7 in the running line. And that's what I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, dear Lord. I know I haven't been a great kid. I've done some things wrong. I will be the best kid from now on. And when I recount this, Ralph was not 7. Back then, Ralph was about 135 pounds. I weighed about 95 pounds. I had no facial hair. Ralph had a 5 o'clock shadow. I had 2 eyebrows. He had 1. All the monobrow. I mean, muscles. So I just decided then and there, right there, that I was really good at basketball. I'm one heck of a good baseball player. And I'm not bad at hockey. So I don't really need this football. And I knew I couldn't do that because my dad had bought me a pair of $13 cleats from Sears, and he'd say he'd only buy them on the condition that I finished the football season, and if he saw me coming up Anderson Street before practice was over, if I quit, I'd get with him, and I knew I would. So I had to come up with something else. So long story short now, I am in the tackling line. I'm looking at Ralph. He's got this white foam coming out of his mouth, little snot bubbles coming out of his nose. He looked like a bull, like scratching at the ground. And okay, just bend your knees, shoulders, feet, shoulder width apart, put the knees in the Z's in the knees and the ankles. Get a good power-producing angle. Power-producing angle. That's what Coach kept telling me. Take one step and then get your second foot in the ground. Throw your arms, see what you hit, and roll your hips. All this going through my mind. Whistle blows. Here comes Ralph. I go first step, second step. Everything I have goes into Ralph. And the first thing I felt was his knee come through my sternum, lift me up into the air. I'm thinking, all my power-producing angles are gone. Power-producing angles. And the next thing I know, my back hits the ground, my head, boom, off the ground, and he just is churning, knees driving, and I'm holding on, and he's dragging me. My shoulder pads are like a plow going through the ground, and I don't. This is a true story, by the way. I don't know if he got tired or if he stepped in a hole or what happened, but eventually he went down. And I was just still around. And I'm saying to myself, you just made this tackle. That's a tackle. Yeah, that's a tackle. You did that. And I did not keep my eyes open, by the way. I did not do that. I closed my eyes. And when I opened my eyes, I was blind. I could not see anything. And I said, well, this is how it ends, right here. They should tackle Ralph, but this is it. This is the end of his career. I did see a circle of light. I just kind of concentrated on that and just kept focusing on it. And I realized I wasn't blind. I was just looking out of the side of my helmet, so put it straight, got it on, jumped up, and then the guys were cheering me on. They were high-fiving me. They were like ready to. And that's the first time I ever did a high five. The power of the high five. You know I love the high five. You guys know that. It was just nothing like the high five. And right then and there, I just fell in love with football. And knew from that day I was gonna play as long as I could, then coach, and then die. That's what I wanted to do.
That is Jim Harbaugh talking to a group of youngsters. And I think for anybody that has put on a football pad, and for me, my first go-around, I was a Tucker Lion back in the day. It was Clay Killingsworth. Great football name, by the way. Clay Killingsworth. But he was built like Ralph. And, yes, I ended up in the tackling line as well. And much like Coach Harbaugh, I ended up looking through my ear hole.
Paddle for every ass.
Something tells me you were Ralph in this scenario.
Well, yeah.
You never had that experience even.
Oh, no, because so when I was little, like Little League, they made me play with people 2 or 3 years older than me.
Did they really?
Yeah. Yeah, so when I got to high school, it was really easy.
I bet.
I was used to it, you know. So, yeah. I mean, I was always a big kid. I was very fast for my size, and it just, you know, it was. They used to always check my birth certificate, everything.
Daniel
the opposing teams.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, but I wasn't very aggressive till I got older. I just enjoyed, you know, being with your friends. It wasn't about me. It was about the team, and trying to win every game we played. And we did pretty good. So
256-576-4977 is the telephone number. We've been rather guest heavy. Mark is on line 1 and joins us right now. How are you, Mark?
Hey, I'm doing well. How about you guys?
Doing well. Thank you for asking.
Hey, talking about a paddle, I happened to look at the Colorado football schedule, and I know right now everyone's on the Deion train or what have you, but let me give you the first 5 games real quick. And I've got them. I mean, I cannot believe I didn't know they had this tough a schedule. They open up at TCU, so
that's
I'm
right.
just trying to keep it real. That's a loss. They got Nebraska second game. You know, I guess it's possible they could beat Nebraska. They've got at Oregon, and then they have USC coming to Boulder. That's a loss. They got Stanford coming in. They go to UCLA. Let me see. Let me flip my page here. They play at Washington State, and then they finish with Utah. So, I mean...
At Utah.
Yeah, right, at Utah. So, let me get back to where I'm not on the phone there. Excuse me. So, Deion, he'll be doing good, you know, and have a winning season. That's well,
the team won 1 game last year, so I think the margin of improvement is going to be fairly low. I don't know why people are thinking playoffs. I think bowl eligibility would be incredible.
Yeah, that's what I would say, too. I mean, I know there's a lot of hype around Deion in this program, but when you start playing the game, and those teams, I mean, those are some pretty good teams. At least 4 or 5 of those teams would be competitive in the SEC. And so, you know, I remember when Colorado used to be pretty good. I don't know if Wes was on that team that played them down in the Blockbuster Bowl.
No, that was 5 years. That's 91.
So Keith was there.
Keith was there.
Okay, all right. And so anyway, I just thought that was interesting. And yesterday, I just wanted to kind of apologize a little bit. I thought I was a little probably too much on Milrose a little bit. Wes, I think you were, the more I think about it, you're right on that. You know, Saban, they don't. You know, there's not a better coach that's ever coached a game than Coach Saban, and there probably won't ever be one, you know, that's better than Saban. And someone lowly like myself, you know, I know that's why we have sports radio. But, you know, people give opinions like a paddle, right? But nonetheless, it is going to be interesting. I read some articles today from some of the national experts, and they're like you. They're like, you don't bring this guy in unless, you know, I mean, if you had a Bryce Young, or if you had a Tua, or if you had a Jalen, or if you had a Mac, you know, then and if you did bring someone in, then you'd have to question that coach's sort of understanding of culture and everything. But you know, you got to trust the process and trust Coach Saban. His record's been pretty good so far, so I'm going to side with you on this one, I guess is what I'm saying. So,
well, first of all, you might be right, though, before it's over with. I don't know. I just think, you know, the people I talk to, I think that getting this guy is a big push for the other two. And they're hoping that they'll have something like a Jalen Hurts situation where it pushes you to get better when you might be satisfied where you are.
Hey, and that's a good point. You know, when they had Tua and Jalen, you know, Tua, we'd be up 40 points, and Jalen would come in, and you'd be, oh, my God, we got this kind of quality, right?
He came in and played like a different person, did the things everybody said he couldn't do within 6 months of that happening. Of course, in a backup role, but now, wow, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, so I think that's competition helps. I think the same in Auburn.
Yeah.
Auburn has a very talented guy that needs pushing. And so
Robbie.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, I tell you, the Auburn quarterback and I went back and kind of watched a little bit of the Alabama-Auburn game of the day and just fast forward kind of through the game. And, you know, he had some good runs, good reads, a beautiful pass down there to make it a 7-point game in the first half. And, you know, and then I was impressed with his class after the game with him and Bryce, you know. So I think that quarterback's something special and can be. So, anyway, well, thanks for letting me get on, and y'all have a blessed evening.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark, for calling.
Appreciate the phone call, 256-576-4977. Jackson is our resident Auburn man for obvious reasons. Your takeaways on what you heard from Hondo, does that make you feel better about the Spartans quarterback who's now an Auburn Tiger?
Yeah, it does. And I was interested by Hondo saying that he doesn't think that Freeze is done looking in the portal for quarterbacks, which to me kind of makes sense. It's interesting because I think Thorne is definitely being painted as the starting quarterback, as the heir apparent, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was interesting that he said he thinks what I took away from what he was saying about Auburn's offensive line was that it was going to be better than Michigan State's offensive line, which at first made me laugh. But he might be able to.
No, I think every Auburn fan was like, "Are you sure about that?"
Offensive line addition yesterday, since Freeze became the coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the 3 recruiting classes prior in 2020, 21, and 22, they signed a total of 8.
Well, it has definitely been a point of contention the last, 3 years of Gus Malzahn and the entire tenure of Brian Harsin. But, I mean, as a whole, recruiting was an issue under Coach Harsin, and there is no doubt what Coach Freeze has brought to the table in his limited time since taking over in December.
It is a nice breath of fresh air, that's for sure.
You can hear the relief.
You really can.
And, again, the numbers say one thing. Peyton Thorne throwing the ball for over 2,600 yards last year. 62.5% completion percentage, 19 touchdowns, 11 picks. I think Auburn fans would sign up for that today, right now, if you said that is going to be your quarterback's numbers at the end of this season.
Yeah, I agree. And I also want to point out, too, about the competition thing. As I said earlier, you know, Robbie Ashford, who before this you would probably bet on being the starter, his message, he said, iron sharpens iron, and that's the mentality that you want out of your guys.
There is no doubt about that.
No question. Yeah, you want competition. You want to get better.
And that's definitely nice to see the guy who probably expected to still be the starter. He may not be, and he doesn't. It's a good thing to say.
I tell you what Coach Bryant used to do, and you don't see this much anymore, or a lot. Similar things were going on at LSU back when the hat was there. But you would have, you'd be like third string tackle, and you have a good day in practice, and you look up there, and all of a sudden you were the first string for that day. I mean, it was a daily deal. You had, I watched Walter Lewis, who's the starting quarterback, check the travel roster to make sure he was on it. And that made a huge impression on me for the first game. Thinking, and you never knew who was going to start. If you were in the first three teams, you might get called to start in a game. And it was all a test. He just tested you. He'd pull you down if you had a bad practice or they felt like you weren't giving your all. Les Miles would play the running back, and whoever was hot.
That's right.
And if you fumble the ball, he might give it to you the next time, and he might sit you down. He'd say stuff over the headset like "shut him down."
Well,
that was it. You wouldn't play anymore.
How many times did that happen at Auburn under Gus Malzahn, where he would ride the hot guy almost to a fail? And I immediately think of 2017, Kerryon Johnson. He was the most dependable. There was no doubt about that. But, boy, did he ride him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. But they didn't have four running backs. If they'd had four running backs.
That's
true.
They rode him into the ground.
Yeah, they rode him into the ground. And I think that's key is to have enough players. And I've said that about Auburn the whole time.
Yeah.
It's not that they don't.
Not about the first 22. It's about the next 22.
The next 22. And the whole time Malzahn was there, they didn't have enough. They'd get people hurt, and that would be it. In the years they didn't get people hurt, like I bet in 2010, who got hurt? Do you remember anybody getting hurt?
No, I don't remember too many Auburn injuries in 2010.
I don't think anybody did. I mean, I'm sure people were banged up. Yeah. But I mean, the whole thing. The whole thing, though, is you have, most years you have to have depth.
Yes.
And if you don't, then you're in trouble.
Well, Alabama '92. That's another year.
Didn't get anybody hurt all year.
Yeah.
No.
That's another year of things just lining up the right way.
And who would have played quarterback if Barker would have got hurt? I mean, seriously, it's probably been the Deuce. That's what ended up happening the next year.
It's crazy. I do have one more audio bite that I'd like to play for you from Tim May and Urban Meyer's podcast, and it revolves around the word pressure. Final call for phone calls on the other side of our first time out, as the Braves and Red Sox have just gotten things started. It's still scoreless.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Now open, this is your invitation to experience the grand opening of ABIQ's new 10,000 square foot showroom. The best brands in home audio, home theater, and home automation. The place to see and hear and feel and listen and watch. The place where you can audition top brand audio and video equipment before it goes in your home. World-class brands now available in Huntsville. Come experience the difference. 1833 University Drive, just east of the Parkway at the all-new AVIQHSV.com.
Flow Trampoline Park is your one-stop fun spot for your next birthday party. Whether you're a boy, girl, kid, or adult, Flow has you covered. Party packages allow up to 25 plus guests, so you'll be able to bring all of your friends. And with all the fun competition to be had at Flow, maybe enemies too. Party packages will give you access to 60 minutes of jump time, grip socks for all guests, a private party room, and a party coordinator. Flow is behind South Parkway and Drake, behind Cracker Barrel. For more information, go to flowhuntsville.com. Get jumping with Flow.
Hello listeners, I want to tell you a little bit about Minuteman Press and what we have to offer our community. We specialize in paper printing and can help from designing your piece to the finished product. We print media guides for many of the athletic departments at high schools and universities around the area. We typically purchase sponsorships from these schools as well, to try and help them with their fundraising. Once we have reached our new normal, we also print all types of marketing materials for you to hand out either in person, via mail, or at various trade shows and events. At Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Final call for phone calls here on a Tuesday from the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Come on out here to the Furniture Factory. Tomorrow there's a cornhole tournament. That's Wes's favorite. That'll be followed by Trick Zipper here at the Furniture Factory. Then on Saturday, Hannah Dasher is here as she will no doubt fire up the Dolly Parton tunes up on the stage. As very healthy is Hannah. 256-576-4977 is the number to be a part of the program. We started things out with talking with the man himself, Bill Hancock, the executive director of the College Football Playoff, about the expansion that we will see next year. Also explored Auburn's new quarterback on campus, and Peyton Thorne with Hondo Carpenter, who joined us earlier. Also played some audio from Urban Meyer and Tim May, who covered Ohio State for a while. In fact, we've had Tim on the program several times, and he is now retired, but doing a podcast with Urban Meyer. And this question from Tim and an answer from Urban Meyer on the podcast.
Hey, you as a head coach, and imagine yourself being in, like, for example, Nick Saban's shoes again, or who do you put the pressure on to make it happen? I mean, when you're starting quarterback at Georgia or Ohio State or Alabama, but who is the pressure really on here to make that happen?
I've always had the belief that you put the pressure on the position coach. You know, it's deep down, I think, I know. I mean, the coordinator and the head coach have a good idea who the quarterback's going to be.
Yeah.
If they're of course they're not going to say that to the media because they don't want to offend. The injuries happen, but in their mind right now, they have that those places that we mentioned, they know who's going to take the first snap if everything goes as planned. If something changes, injury, someone beats someone out. But I always believed that I put pressure on the position coaches, and it's ultimately their job, because the amount of time you spend with that quarterback getting him ready is going to be critical. And you're allowed to do things now that you were not allowed to do in the past. They're going to meet a lot this summer. They're going to do a lot of the practices, you know, where you obviously you're not practicing, but you're getting ready for the season. So a lot of time spent. I remember Ohio State and them, they were getting C.J. Stroud ready a couple years ago. They were doing all kinds of stuff in the offseason because it's legal now.
So, I mean, what he's saying, it's hard. I mean, because I hear that over and over of head coaches pressuring their assistants.
It's their job to get the players ready, yeah.
But it's so hard to take him serious with wind chimes in the background of every single answer.
That's bad, yeah. Well, I mean,
the wind chimes just get me every single time.
It's hard to listen
I mean, the content is there, but the wind chimes...
No doubt.
Help me out, Joe. Joe is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, Steve. How much time I got left?
The floor is yours, sir.
Well, I just want to tell you a story right quick. Either one of y'all listened to Feinbaum today?
I heard a little bit, but not much.
Did you hear the call in about the guys, or I think one was a lady, about colonostomies?
No, I missed that one.
Okay. Well, I got to tell you this story right quick. Back before they went off the air, I used to listen to the Tony and Gary show every morning. I don't know if you've ever heard them. They were staples way back. Anyway, you know, Gary retired and he moved to Panama City, and then their engineer, like Mr. Love, he took over Gary's place. But anyway, I was listening to him one morning. I'd call in a couple of times a week at least, and a lady called in and she was complaining and said she needed a colonoscopy and said it's going to cost her $1,500. Just checking in if anybody knew how she could might get by cheaper than that. So $1,500. And Corey told us, said, well, you know, we'll put it on the air and just maybe somebody will call in and help you out. So I called in. Corey got me on the air, and I said, like, Corey, just make sure you have the dump button. He kind of laughed. Anyway, so he puts me on the air, and I said, Corey, said, tell the lady, give her my number and give me a call. Said, I know a doctor in Decatur that would probably do a colonoscopy for about $750. And he said, oh, that's great. He said, I'll put you on hold and you can give me your number and I'll have her call you. I said, well, you can put me on hold, but there's one other problem that y'all need to know about. And he said, well, what would that be, Joe? He said, well, this doctor in Decatur will do it for $750, but he'll do a half-assed job.
Oh, man.
That poor lady. That was a long setup.
Needless to say, they were off air for about 2 minutes. Anyway, it's been a long time ago, guys. So, you know, now that's my last football joke for a while.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Appreciate the phone call. Not sure how to pivot out of that. Let's see here. Let's see if there's any quirky stories.
NHL draft lottery.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I'm going to pivot to. Let's see here. A model who's on TikTok. Her name's Nikki Andrea. She has millions of...
That's a fake name.
...followers. You think that's a fake name?
Yes, I do.
Well, she is warning people on the dangers of static electricity when pumping gas.
And a man came up to me as I was getting out of my car to take the nozzle out and get my receipt, and he said, just be careful, I just want you to know the friction from you moving around, this can happen in like cold, dry environments, and something about like the static that you produce when you're like getting out of the car, moving around, touching things. Make sure, he told me, always make sure you touch something metal, like touch your car, touch something metal with both hands before you touch the nozzle, because that static can cause a spark that can produce an electrical fire, and if you touch the nozzle, and it could literally blow you up. Like, what?
What are we listening to?
That is a model and TikTok person, Nikki Andrea, warning the people of dangers of static electricity when pumping gas.
Well,
and she was like, what? She was like, what? I bet she's a Swiftie. Braves lead it 2-0 over the Boston Red Sox. Bottom of the first, that was courtesy of Matt Olson, another long one from the Braves first baseman in his second year coming from Oakland. So we are going to head over to the Braves radio network. We will be on the air tomorrow, just not sure what time. David Cutcliffe is going to join us.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have the state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle